In the beginning of my journey toward a simpler life, I found myself overwhelmed by the clutter, not merely the physical mess that filled my home, but the never-ending accumulation of expenses and commitments that weighed heavily on my spirit. I came to realize that the things I once believed would bring me lasting happiness were only adding stress, and I was living a life far removed from the genuine fulfillment I longed for. I remember a particular moment when I stood in my chaotic kitchen, surrounded by forgotten gadgets and a mountain of bills, and became deeply aware that the future I had imagined was fading away beneath the burden of material excess. In that instant, something shifted within me. I made the conscious decision to break free from the relentless cycle of consumerism and to embrace a lifestyle centered on frugal living and minimalism. Over time, this change not only transformed my financial situation, allowing me to save thousands of dollars, but it also illuminated the true priorities of my life. I began to understand that true wealth is not measured by the number of possessions one accumulates, but by the quality of relationships, experiences, and the inner peace that simplicity can bring. I started to see that every dollar spent on unnecessary items was a missed opportunity to invest in something far more valuable: personal growth, meaningful connections, and genuine contentment. This journey was not about renouncing all comforts, but rather about making deliberate choices to focus on what truly matters. In sharing my story, I invite you to explore with me the liberating world of living with less and cherishing the things that really count, as we journey together towards a life of clarity, intent, and heartfelt simplicity. I am grateful for this transformative path and truly healing. In my pursuit of a life more aligned with my values, I learned the importance of carefully prioritizing what truly matters. I began by looking inward, examining my wishes and setting clear intentions for every aspect of my life. I started to understand that every purchase, decision, and commitment should be measured against the quality they add to my overall well-being. This introspection led to the realization that the things I once thought were indispensable were merely distractions, siphoning off resources from what genuinely makes life rich and fulfilling. I adopted a practice of mindful budgeting, which transformed how I managed my finances day to day. I scrutinized each expense by asking myself if it connected with my long-term goals or merely fed into a cycle of instant gratification. I discovered that by eliminating superfluous spending, I could allocate my money to experiences that enriched my life, like memorable days spent outdoors, learning new creative skills, or simply investing time in nurturing important relationships. This journey of prioritization was not a quick fix. It required patience, determination, and a willingness to change long-standing habits. Any moment spent reflecting on my true needs turned out to be a stepping stone towards liberating myself from the clutches of excess. The journey to align my financial habits with my personal ideals was challenging, yet profoundly rewarding, and it opened my eyes to a world where true richness comes from investing in measurable, valuable moments of life. Every deliberate choice guided me closer to a stable financial future, while affirming the importance of living with purpose. I embraced each lesson wholeheartedly, and the process enriched my understanding of true prosperity. Living a simple life revealed to me the beauty of everyday moments and the quiet joys that often go unnoticed in a hectic world. My mornings, once spent in a rush, transformed into peaceful rituals that allowed me to connect with nature and appreciate the gentle light of dawn. I began savoring the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the soft music of birds chirping outside, and the calm silence that filled the early hours. These small yet significant experiences became my sanctuary, a constant reminder that happiness often resides in the understated corners of daily life. I experimented with creative hobbies that did not require extravagant spending. Instead of investing in costly entertainment, I found joy in activities like painting, writing in a journal, or tending to a small garden in my backyard. Each of these simple pursuits provided moments of introspection and personal delight, encouraging me to invest my time in endeavors that fed my soul rather than my bank account. I also discovered that taking a slow walk around the neighborhood offered me both exercise and a chance to engage with my community, inspiring a sense of belonging and enriching my everyday existence. Over time, I grew more attuned to the rhythms of life that do not come with a price tag. Spending an afternoon reading an old paperback, relishing a home-cooked meal, or simply watching a sunset became treasured experiences that brought true contentment. I learned that material possessions, while perhaps momentarily satisfying, could never substitute for moments of genuine connection or the gratifying pleasure of a quiet night spent under the stars. This newfound appreciation for life's intrinsic simplicity has given me a lasting sense of peace and gratitude. In embracing a life free from the relentless pursuit of more, I discovered that every modest moment was imbued with beauty, each day offering an opportunity to celebrate the understated wonders that truly make life worth living. With each sunrise and every quiet moment spent in reflection, I felt my spirit renew and my determination strengthen. These simple experiences, though small in isolation, wove together into a tapestry of memories that celebrated a life free from excess. Every gentle moment reaffirmed that simplicity was not about shirking joy, but about amplifying the beauty inherent in the mundane, turning each day into a celebration of life's humble treasures. These moments continuously inspire me to live authentically with great gratitude. Living with less has revealed a profound paradox that has reshaped my understanding of happiness. In a world where wealth is often quantified by possessions and income, I discovered that true contentment is found in the freedom that accompanies simplicity. I witnessed, through my own journey and the lives of those around me, that shedding unnecessary burdens paved the way for a more fulfilling existence. The process of minimizing extraneous clutter, both physical and emotional, freed up space for creativity, personal growth, and genuine connections. By deliberately paring down my belongings and commitments, I learned that I was making room not only in my home, but also in my heart and mind. I became more open to new experiences, and the reduction in stress allowed me to engage more deeply with the present moment. I recalled how, during a particularly challenging time, letting go of the need to keep up with others had surprisingly led to a surge of inner peace. Instead of the constant buzz of consumerist pressure, I experienced quiet days marked by focused clarity and an appreciation for what I truly had. Observing my journey, I saw that many who were less materially endowed enjoyed a richer emotional life. A close friend once shared a story of simple but deep festivities held in a modest apartment, where laughter and shared stories far outweighed the glitz of unnecessary luxuries. This narrative resonated with me powerfully, reinforcing the idea that happiness often flourishes under conditions of less. Owning fewer items did not mean living a deprived life. Rather, it meant embracing a mode of living that is more intentional and ultimately more satisfying. Every step taken towards minimalism unveiled unexpected benefits, a stronger sense of control over my time, deeper connections with loved ones, and a heightened awareness of my own values. I realized that, paradoxically, in striving for less, I had gained so much more. This discovery became a beacon, guiding me to cherish moments, relationships, and experiences over an endless accumulation of material belongings, thereby opening a gateway to a life of genuine joy and simplicity. I gradually embraced the unexpected freedom that minimalism introduced into my daily routine, recognizing that every small sacrifice ultimately brought me closer to a life enriched with calm and clarity. This lifestyle redesign reaffirmed that sometimes less indeed becomes infinitely more. Each step confirmed my belief in a simpler, happier life. Over the years, my commitment to frugal living has yielded remarkable financial benefits, and I have experienced firsthand how small changes can result in significant savings. I remember the day I decided to forgo a costly vacation abroad in favor of exploring local attractions. Instead of booking an expensive international trip, I embarked on a series of weekend adventures to nearby parks, historical landmarks, and quaint towns. Each journey offered its own surprises, hidden gems, local cuisines, and delightful encounters that enriched my understanding of the world around me, while preserving my savings for moments when they mattered most. I gradually replaced expensive hobbies with ones that were both enjoyable and budget-friendly. For instance, I purchased affordable gardening tools instead of investing in high-end gadgets, and I discovered the joy of growing my own herbs and vegetables. This personal garden not only provided fresh produce, but also became a peaceful retreat where I could relax, reflect, and appreciate nature's simple gifts. Additionally, rather than splurging on elaborate celebrations, I chose to host intimate gatherings with a close circle of friends, turning every event into a heartwarming, low-cost experience that fostered genuine connection and memorable moments. Moreover, by carefully scrutinizing my monthly expenditures, I eliminated recurring costs that no longer aligned with my newfound priorities. I cancelled unnecessary subscriptions and became more resourceful in managing utility bills by conserving energy and reducing waste. Every time I consciously decided to invest in quality rather than quantity, I felt a surge of satisfaction. Each frugal decision, whether it was buying a modest piece of furniture or opting for a local dining experience, accumulated over time to create a substantial financial cushion. This cushion offered me security and the freedom to pursue opportunities that truly enhanced my life. Reflecting on these experiences, I see clearly that a lifestyle based on thoughtful financial choices is not about deprivation, but about making room for what is truly important. Every saving and every careful investment has allowed me to cultivate a life rich in quality and purpose, proving that true wealth resides in the way we live, rather than in what we own. Each frugal choice I made built a foundation of financial discipline and contentment. The accumulation of these careful decisions gradually transformed my life, allowing me the freedom to pursue passions and invest in experiences that truly enriched my journey toward a fulfilled existence. Beyond my dreams. Embracing frugality also meant facing the stark realities of debt and the risks it brings when used for non-essential purchases. I experienced firsthand how accumulating debt for superfluous expenses, such as extravagant vacations or lavish Christmas gifts, can create a heavy burden that undermines financial stability. It became clear that while some loans, like a manageable mortgage, are investments in one's future living space, many others pull you further into a cycle of paying off interests rather than creating true wealth. I saw friends struggle with the endless pressures of credit card bills and high-interest loans, where each new purchase added to a growing debt trap that slowly eroded their peace of mind. I learned to differentiate between good debt and bad debt by scrutinizing the true value each expense brought into my life. Every time I considered borrowing money to fund transient pleasures, I paused to reflect on whether that choice would contribute to long-term happiness or merely offer temporary satisfaction. This disciplined approach taught me that living within one's means is not a sacrifice, but a genuine means to achieve greater lasting security. By redirecting funds from unnecessary loans to investments in health, relationships, and personal growth, I not only alleviated stress, but also built a foundation for a more secure future. Navigating this complex landscape of borrowing has been a critical part of my journey towards financial liberation. I found that understanding the true cost of debt, both in money and in the toll it takes on emotional well-being, empowered me to maintain a balanced approach to spending and saving, one that honors both prudent financial management and the joys of living simply. I embraced this cautious mindset, confident that steering clear of needless debt was vital for preserving both my financial freedom and peace of mind. As I reflect on the transformation that has unfolded in my life through frugality and minimalism, I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the journey I have taken. Every step in reducing clutter, both in my surroundings and within my mind, has illuminated valuable lessons about what it means to live intentionally. I now understand that true fulfillment comes from aligning every action, every decision, with what I hold truly dear. My journey is proof that a life built on simplicity, thoughtful choices, and clear priorities is a life imbued with deep joy and personal contentment. I often think back to the times when I was entangled in a web of overconsumption and debt, and I marvel at how radically my perspective has shifted. The many hours spent re-evaluating my finances and rearranging my life's priorities have not only saved me thousands of dollars, but also granted me the freedom to live according to my values. I now cherish the peaceful moments that arise from living with less, knowing that this simplicity has paved the way for a richer, more authentic existence. In embracing minimalism, I have found that my relationships have flourished, my creativity has soared, and my overall well-being has improved in ways I once thought impossible. This journey has taught me that sacrificing the superficial is not a loss, but an opportunity, a chance to discover what matters most. With every deliberate choice, I cultivate an environment where growth, learning, and love can thrive unimpeded by the distractions of excessive materialism. By sharing my experiences, I aspire to encourage others to question the status quo of relentless consumption and to consider that true happiness might be just a mindful decision away. Embracing this lifestyle has redefined my idea of success, steering me away from the chase for possessions and toward a deeper quest for inner peace and genuine connection. Every reflective moment reminds me that the pursuit of less has led me to a life where simplicity, love, and deep fulfillment intertwine, creating a future filled with genuine joy and meaningful connection in every vital, heartfelt moment, always.